Okay, I clicked it.
Good evening. Today is the 25th of January of 2021. My name is Samantha Villarreal. I am an interviewer for UTSA Oral History Research Project over COVID-19 and the impact it had in our San Antonio community. This project is directed by Dr. Whitney Chappell. Our guest today is Carol De Leon. Thank you for giving us your time. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Hi, I'm Carol de Leon. I am 22 years old and I grew up, I was born in Zapata. No one really knows where that is, but it's by Laredo in the Valley. I moved to Houston and I basically did all my junior high and high school there. I played soccer when I was in high school. Then I came to San Antonio for college. I'm a first gen, so none of my cousins or family members have ever gone to college. So everything is new to me.
How long have you been living in San Antonio?
Um, 4 years, 4.5 years.
And what is your family life like? Did it change when you moved to San Antonio or did it stay pretty much the same?
My family life. In aspects of like who I see and what I talk to.
Ah, yes, and like your communication with them.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously, I used to talk to my family every single day, and every single day I spoke Spanish, which is so when I came to San Antonio, I didn't speak Spanish ever up until I started the bilingual education classes, and it was just a big transition. I hardly talk to my mom anymore, but I've been trying to I don't talk to any of my siblings, but with my mom I've been trying to call her once a week because I realized like I need to get better at that.
What has shaped you into the person that you are today?
Um, I think with being a first generation college student, and basically like my mom didn't really have a degree, so I had to work all the time to get anything I wanted. But I think that was really good in shaping me as like if you want something, go work for it, go get it instead of like expecting it. Like everything I have, I gave to myself.
And what do you want people to know about who you are now?
Um, I think I'm resilient and hardworking. I do things outside of my comfort zone because I know you don't you don't progress forward without getting out of your comfort zone. And yeah, I try to be super kind.
So, how did you feel in mid March when life first started to change because of COVID-19 in the US?
Oh my goodness, I used to never go anywhere, but like the day before quarantine, my friends and I went to a trip to Austin, and then I just started thinking like, okay, this year is gonna be my year, like everyone did. And the next day things shut down, and I was like, cool, an extended spring break, let's go. And then um, yeah, it started getting a little scary knowing like everything was closing down, and I was like, um, life isn't gonna be back to normal anytime soon. So it was pretty scary. You say, how did life change?
How did you feel about it? Like, did your feelings evolve within the following weeks or months?
Yes, I thought it was gonna be over super fast, and I was like, okay, this isn't gonna reach here. It's like nothing ever really happens, I guess, in my life. Like usually, whenever like hurricanes happen or like natural disasters, it's like super close to me, but never like directly affected. You hear stories about everyone else, like, oh, they had to move here, they had to move houses. But when it actually affected me, I was like, oh my goodness, like, I guess it made it more real, even though it already was.
And what seemed normal before COVID-19 that seems strange to you now?
Everything. It's so weird when people obviously don't wear masks. Like when I see people's faces, I'm just like, that is whoa, that is so weird. Um, People getting close to me. I just feel like I don't really interact well with anyone anymore. It's so weird seeing kids getting too close or people getting too close or seeing people at bars and faces or even shaking hands. It's so weird to me that that was even a thing. Like, why are you touching people's hands? They touch everything. And yeah, I'm such a germaphobe now. I was already before, but now I can't stand anything.
No, I agree. I'm the same way. Like now that I like think about it too, I'm like, oh, I can't believe we used to like just shake people's hands, just even
Yeah.
strangers, because it was just like a greeting.
Yes, it's so weird. So weird.
And early in the pandemic, what concerned you the most about the coronavirus?
Um, well, obviously that it's airborne. Well, not really airborne, but you know the it can be transferred. That concerned me because of everything you touch has been like exposed to someone. Like grocery stores are so weird to me now. 'Cause it's like everyone's just touching the fruit and things aren't packaged. Like if fruit's just fresh, that's another weird thing to me. Like you can grab fruit with your bare hands. Um, yeah, it was just weird. How did COVID change my plans? I thought I was gonna continue being in the dorms, but they kicked us out of the dorms
Oh,
because
wow.
yeah, so I was like homeless for like, and I had a job and I lost my job because of COVID. So I was like jobless and then homeless, and I was like, oh my gosh, where'd I go? I literally had to live with like a relative for like 3 months with no Wi-Fi, still in school. It was so crazy. And it just happened like a month before I was in Austin and like having fun. And then like April or March, April, late April, I was like I was 6 hours away, still going to school. And I was sitting outside of a store with like Wi Fi. It was so weird.
And how was that experience like? Like just like it changed so fast.
Yeah, I was like so shocked. Like I didn't have a room for like months. And I had a dog. So it was like I was living in the middle of nowhere and it was crazy. I didn't get to see friends or like I would all I did to interact with people. I didn't I there was days where I wouldn't talk at all because there was no one in that house. It was just I would just walk to a store, like go into my class because she like let me sit outside her store. I would go log into my class, listen, take notes like while in a chair, like with my laptop, and then just go back home. And then I have like my own bed. I would sleep like on the couch or something. It was just crazy. It was like it all felt like a dream. It kind of still does. But yeah, I think I would have been so different without that experience. I was just like, what? Yeah. Things I didn't think I could do and then I did. And then I still got good grades considering everything.
Yeah, that's good.
Mhm. It was crazy.
And how long did this go on for?
Oh, me living over there, it was like I came back to San Antonio in July. So April, May, June, July. So 4 months. And like I did all my summer classes there. Like I guess I did the first half of the summer classes and then I came here.
Oh, so you were still taking classes in the summer.
Yes, I had to do two so I can keep up. But it was crazy.
And how did COVID affected your job?
Well, I lost my job, but and I was like unemployed for a really long time. But I just got a new job working retail. But like my plan was to save money and just like work all summer, but I couldn't because I was in the middle of nowhere, and they weren't hiring because of COVID. Like they just like trusted their own associates, and they didn't want to do interviews. I tried to do interviews, and they weren't allowing anyone in their store, like in an office or anything. So it was pretty like that was like when it was like super super strict. And then when I came back by July, um, I was able to do interviews. It was just through the phone, so no interaction. I got hired without them seeing me or anything, and just like a 15-minute phone call.
Oh, okay. So all the interviews were through phone
Mhm.
calls.
Yes, and I had no idea actually. Sorry, I don't know if this is like out of the subject, but
That's okay.
um, so when I got the job, I was hired by a manager, and then I went and I was working there. I've been working here in the same spot for like a few months now, but um, one time I think it was like 2 weeks ago, we don't take off our masks at all, like at all, and we social distance, and they follow all the rules. Sorry, my dog's barking. Let me. Okay, hold on.
It's okay.
Sorry. Okay, so it's so weird because I got hired, and like we always follow like the COVID protocols. But one time I saw my manager in her office, and I needed to ask her a question, and she was eating her lunch, so she didn't have her mask on. And I walked in, and I was like, "Oh, sorry," and I left because I didn't recognize her. None of us recognize each other, and she was like, "Wait," and she put on her mask, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, it's you!" So none of us know what we look like without our masks on, so we only know like this part of our faces. It's like the weirdest thing. Like when people pick up their mask, it's like I have no idea who they are. Like in the parking lot, I won't know them, but as soon as they put on their mask, I'm like, "Oh, that's her. She's coming in today." It's so weird.
Yeah, I agree. It's like we're used to just seeing everyone's like just this
Mhm.
part of their face that like when you see their full face, you're like, I don't know who these people are, but yeah.
Yes, I'm just like, "You have a beard?" and stuff.
And how has COVID-19 affected the employment of the people you know?
Oh, my cousin has been unemployed for such a long time. She just started her new job last week, and we both lost our jobs at the same time because we both worked at the mall, and like the mall, like or like we both lost our jobs then. We both moved in the middle of nowhere, and um, I was able to get a job in September, but she just recently got a job, and it's 2021 now. It was like really hard for her.
What do you think or hope will happen to your job in the future and the jobs of other people you know?
Um, well, I hope I get hired as a bilingual teacher by then, and I hope other people get like at least job raises. I feel like it's kind of inconsiderate that people are getting paid the same when there's like a higher risk of being sick. So it's like maybe I should get like a little extra considering that they're taking a huge risk that there's like a pandemic and a virus,
Yeah.
and jobs are treating them the same or like to do the same things. I go to work and I'm scared that I'm gonna get it because some people refuse to wear masks, and they kind of just like cough everywhere, and it's disgusting. And I'm cashier, and although we like have Germex and we wipe the thing, like they're talking and they try to lean in and over the counter, and I'm just like getting their stuff, and I'm just like gross, 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 and it could just happen. And I just feel like I should be getting paid more, maybe. And there's like a lot more expenses, like sanitary expenses and stuff.
How has COVID-19 affected you or your family's daily activities? Did it change up your schedule that you had before, or did it stay the same?
Um, I kind of wanted to do more with my life. like um like me and my cousin were really close, so we were saying, okay, let's start traveling because, it's really the only time we have to travel or like this and this, but now it's because before kids and stuff, but now we just don't ever want to travel or go anywhere or see new people because there's always a risk that obviously you can die or something. You never know how COVID's going to affect you or others. Like if you get it, others can get it. Yeah, we just don't travel because our moms are super high risk. So we were going to.
And are you staying in or going out? What are you doing to pass your time during this pandemic?
I'm staying in. I don't ever go out. I didn't really go out before, but like now especially. And everything is like curbside or pickup. And I started a small business. So that's been helping me pass the time. So I'm very artsy now. Like I was always artsy, but now even more so.
How has COVID-19 changed your relationship with your family?
Mm, my mom and I are closer now, I would say. Like, at first, obviously, we didn't talk to her a lot because I was doing so much and I was moving so much and commuting. But now it's just kind of made me um, scared for her life because I know she works a lot too. And so I'm just kind of, I'll have like nightmares and thinking, like, oh my goodness, if she catches it, like, I'm not going to see her again. And I only have my mom. So it's always just super scary. So I'm trying to call her more. And it's just like a constant fear in like the back of our heads, you know?
Have you changed how you see and communicate with your friends and family during this time?
Um, yes. If I know that my friends went home, like to Houston to see their families, I won't. I'll ask them to get like a COVID test. And I get COVID testing like every week or every other week and like the free clinic just to make sure I'm not posing a risk to anyone else if I do something. I don't know. But yes, I don't hang out with new people, or if I find out that there's going to be like an event and it's not the same three people I hang out with, then I just kind of don't go, or I'll say, I'll leave you a card or something. Just something.
What have been the biggest relationship challenges that you have faced during COVID-19?
Um, it's mostly been a relationship with my friends. Um, there was a friend that I was really close to, and she got COVID, and we've all kind of been scared. And I just haven't really talked to her, and then we kind of got used to not speaking. And another friend also got COVID, and I haven't, thankfully. But another friend also got COVID, and I just refuse to go to their house anymore. Like I'm just scared. So mostly everything's virtual or in public where we wear masks and stuff. But that's basically it. I've actually gone on lunch dates with people, but we both sit in our cars. And
Oh, okay.
those we go get through the drive-through, get food, and we just eat in our cars, and we're on the phone, but we could see each other. So
Oh, that's pretty
super,
cool.
super weird, but like we do it. It's just I don't know.
How has COVID-19 affected your community?
Community. Um, the first thing that comes to my mind is like the elementary schools. We have plexiglass everywhere. The kids can't. The rules are like so the opposite of what they used to be because like the rules used to be like share, be nice, and like sit quietly in the carpet and like don't take up too much space or like come to the front. Everyone come to the front and like be together. And now it's you can't walk around the room. You can't share. You have to keep your mask on. Like it's so crazy. It's literally so crazy. and 6 feet, and it's just weird. And like the plexiglass, I try, and we can't give them anything, which is so weird. Like for holidays or anything, like little cards, can't give them anything. We can't hug them or anything, and they always try to like hug. You know how kids like always like to hug teachers goodbye. I'm just like, sorry, you can't, but I'll like wave, or we can do a high five through the glass like that, and it's just so sad.
And how do you feel about those changes that students had to go through, like from being able to share things to now they can't share things?
I feel like it's gonna have an underlying effect on them. I don't know what, but I just feel like, I don't know. In recess, they can't even play with balls. And I was in that exact same school before COVID, or just clinically. And I remember seeing like so many balls and so many toys that they played with, and I don't know. It's just weird. It's just so weird. But I hope that they're okay. But I know whenever we were kids, like those are fun memories to look back at. And I doubt that they're gonna look back at these memories like fondly. They're gonna say, "Oh yeah, I was at home and I didn't learn anything" or something.
How are people around you responding to the COVID-19 pandemic?
So luckily, I am not around any crazy people who don't wear their masks, so they're pretty safe. Um, like my friends don't go out and they're not going crazy, and they're willing to wear masks. The mentor teacher I have is willing to wear a mask, and we're always safe. We always clean the seats after, even at work. Everyone's safe. Everyone wears their mask. Like no one is crazy and just goes out and like touches everything or shares drinks or anything. Oh, sharing drinks is also so weird. I can't believe that that used to be a thing.
And have you seen the people around you change their opinions or day-to-day activities in response to the pandemic?
In the beginning, yes, like everyone cut everything off, but I know that there's so many people that don't like their routines messed with, or they just would like to pretend that life is normal when it isn't, and they still continue to do their day to day. And I feel I've noticed that people are selfish, and like so many people are selfish, and that's kind of like crazy to me because it'll be people who you wouldn't think as selfish. It'll be like churchgoers and stuff and things like that, and they won't wear a mask because whatever reason. But it's crazy. I've actually had like customers at work and to my coworker, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I'm totally feeling the symptoms and stuff like that," and they're not even wearing a mask. And we all get scared, and we're all just freaking out. So I've noticed that with people, there are some people who like to pretend their life is the same, and then there's some people who are overly cautious, and it's just, I don't know. You don't know how people are anymore. You don't know who they were anymore.
And how is it like whenever you have customers that go into the store without a mask?
We kind of ask them like, "Hi, would you like to wear a mask?" And they tell us it's not a law, and keep walking. It's pretty, and we kind of get scared, but we can't tell them anything because discrimination. So even though in my head I'm just kind of like, wearing a shirt or wearing shoes isn't a law either, but you do that. Please just do it. I don't know. We all get kind of like scared.
And are they still like allowed to shop in the store?
Yes, there, because I think it's because in case they have like a medical reason not to, and we can't discriminate, nor can we ask if they have a medical reason. And so we have to just go under the assumption that they do have underlying medical condition.
Have
But
you?
besides, oh,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
I was just saying most of the time we just get told by them that they don't want to. So that's fine, I guess.
And have you or anybody gotten sick during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yes, two friends of mine got sick with COVID, and one of them had three other roommates, and none of them got it because he quarantined in his room for 2 weeks and never got out of his room. His restroom's connected to his room, so that's pretty crazy to me to even be stuck. And they would just hand him things like outside his door, and he would just snatch it. But yes, and then my other friend, she was actually affected like pretty badly with the symptoms, and yeah, she looked like she was like dying, not dying, but um she couldn't taste anything, and she was like really suffering with like a fever. It was pretty high.
And have you gotten a COVID test? And what was your experience like? I know some people say that they didn't like the experience of the testing, and then some people say it wasn't too bad, or some say that it's just like in the middle.
Yeah, I didn't get the ones from the nose. I got all the ones from the mouth, and I've gone like so many times just to get checked because I work with kids and I don't want them getting sick. I would feel so guilty. So I always go get checked, and I don't mind it. The only problem is like it's like 30 minutes away, but I'm lucky enough to have a car. So I just do it. It's not bad at all. It's pretty fast. It's super easy. It's free. I just go online and schedule a time and just go.
And how worried are you about getting the virus?
I'm super worried. I know there's people that like kind of want it because they could just get off of work and still get paid. But I'm just so worried. Like, I'm worried about giving it to other people because some of my students stay with their grandmas, and I can't even imagine like if I was like the reason why they lose their guardian or anything. And like even if my mom comes to visit, um, if I were to get sick, I feel like my mom would try to come and like try to take care of me because that's a mom, but she's like high risk. So I'm just like super nervous about it. So I try to stay as clean as I can be and safe. I have so many Lysols.
Mhm.
Mm,
Has
yeah.
it been difficult to get Lysols and like hand sanitizer?
Yes, when I see one available, I'll get it. Now it's like one of those things like, okay, and I just Lysol everything. I Lysol everything and disinfect everything, and I try to keep clean. It's just scary. Like when you shop and stuff, you want to Lysol, and then obviously you wash it after. And then I have so many Germix in my car, and after I like get out of the store, it's just before even driving. It's like so weird that that wasn't a normal thing.
Mhm.
So weird.
How do you think COVID-19 is affecting people's mental health during this time?
I think it definitely amplified it. I feel like negatively. I think it affected mine negatively. I think it's just kind of like you want everything to go back to normal, but there is no normal anymore. Like this is the new normal. And there's been times where I've kind of been like overwhelmed with everything, and it's like, not having a job and not having lots of things. It's just kind of like amplified even more the fact that you had to stay in your room and you can't just go somewhere and just relax, I guess. And I think like the gym used to help a little bit, but now even the gym just seems so gross. And then there's always just like a pressure, like what if I have it, or if you get kind of sick or your throat kind of hurts, you think I have, oh my gosh, I have it, this is it, like I need a quarantine. So it's just really affecting people's mental health negatively. Like, it's not good at all.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same way.
Like, it's scary.
Mhm. And what do you describe the new normal to be like?
The new normal, just and like when I get ready, I have so here. I'll show you my masks. Like a part of getting ready in the morning is choosing which mask to go with my outfit. It's so weird. And like just getting ready. Like you get your clothes, you put on your mask, you get your Germix, and then your disinfectant spray if you want to go anywhere, or like at least the Germix and the mask. And then you walk somewhere. Sometimes they'll take your temperature and you know it's normal, and then it's just they'll take your temperature and you can walk in. Sometimes they don't. They count how many people there are in the store. Like there's always a counter in stores now, or like a temperature taker. And then I go to work, and in order to clock in, I had to take like a huge assessment that takes forever, and then I have to get my temperature checked, sign a form, and then be able to clock in. And then whenever I go to the school, I have to again sign the form saying I don't have any symptoms, I didn't travel, and then I could start school. I watched the kids get temperature checked. It's just absolutely insane. But that's a new normal, just getting temperature checked, signing forms, Germex, masks, everything.
And what are you most looking forward to when the pandemic is over?
I don't even know. Maybe I'll get the chance to travel. I actually, before COVID happened, I wanted to see my dad in Mexico. And I was like, okay, I'd be able to see him for the first time in like 6 years because I was like saving money for that. And then it like just I have no idea when I'm gonna see him. And also I get super scared with him too because you know, it's Mexico and it's like kind of his job is like not safe and he can't really afford anything and I can't afford to send him money, but it's just not secure there, so it's kind of maybe I'll be able to see him. He's high risk, he's diabetic, so I'm just kind of like I don't what if I have it, I don't want to give it to him and he just stays home.
Okay, and do you get to keep in contact with him even though he's in Mexico?
Sometimes because like in the morning I'm teaching third grade and then right after at 3 I work at like a 4 to 10 and he's always working as well. So he'll call me and I'll be at work and be like, estoy trabajando. And he'll call me again and I'm like, estoy en la escuela and things like that. So I kind of don't talk to him, but maybe I will one day. So just waiting for the COVID to be over. Maybe I'll try.
Yeah. And how has technology played a role in your life during the pandemic? Did you use technology to entertain yourself during this time period?
Yeah, hold on. Let me get my charger because my laptop's dying. So okay, Meadow, please move. Okay, technology. If it's everything now, technology is everything. Um, I wake up and already like I had my laptop charged so that the next day I could teach the kids through Zoom or watch Zoom, be on social media. I think I'm amplified. It's been super amplified. I used to not really watch any videos or anything like that. But now I could stay on TikTok for like hours because I know I'm not going anywhere. I know I'm not seeing anyone. And my eyes hurt a lot now. I have frequent headaches and I think I need glasses or something. Like I don't know. My eyesight is becoming not so good because it's getting really hard to see now things. Like my eyes are just so strained now. I get headaches all the time. And that's because I'm in front of a screen all the time. So like with school, Zoom, like clinical teaching. My phone, I was already on my phone like crazy. But now I'm on TikTok and stuff. And even at work, I'm on the register screen. So it's like I don't really get to escape a screen. And I used to just go hiking and stuff. But now that when people go hiking now, some don't wear masks and I just start getting scared and it's like, okay, let me just stay home. So now technology has it's all my entertainment and information. So
How much time would you say that you spend like a day using technology?
so my phone average says I spent I spent like 7 hours on that, not including the 7 hours of school. But I'm not on Zoom the entire time, maybe. But I do check my emails, probably like 14 hours at least. So maybe 14 hours a day, which is super bad.
And where have you been getting your news during the pandemic from?
Um, Usually I just kind of look it up, but like I'll just do like a Google search or I'll um I know school sometimes I know what the inauguration it was played during clinical teaching and like just anywhere I get to see it, it's all online. Usually it'll be like through specific websites, like government websites, and we'll just play videos and but I've actually learned a lot about it like through social media, like like with voting and stuff, and with protests that we've had. Like it's just on social media.
And what do you think of how the pandemic is being covered in the news or even in social media?
It really depends who you're asking. I've noticed that it's become like a political thing rather than like a fact of the matter thing because so many people are affected and so many people are dying because of it. But it depends which political party you ask in America specifically because the rest of the world understands that it's like a big thing. But yeah, in America, I've noticed that it really depends what you look at because some people will say, well, yeah, it's a serious thing because it is. It's a pandemic, it's worldwide. But some people you can ask and they say it's it's just the flu and you know, just different thoughts about it, but there's some people that don't want to believe in it or maybe they just don't genuinely believe in it.
And what do you think, what have local leaders done in your community in response to this pandemic? And what do you think of their response?
Local leaders, I think it was just like the mandate that you should wear a mask, but since it's not a law and it can't be enforced, and I don't think it would be enforced if we did ask police to enforce it. because I see like so many police without masks on. So yeah, I just don't think it's kind of enough. The same thing with the school. Like with schools, I know schools will lose their funding if all the students went virtual. I think someone was saying like it gets cut in half if everything is virtual and home. But I think it's kind of weird how like the leaders for schools and stuff are telling teachers to stay in person and you're so safe, but they're saying that from their homes because they've decided to work from home. So it's kind of like, uh, do they really think it's safe or do they really think it's better for their bank accounts? So it's kind of, you've kind of been able to see like everything is based on obviously money, and we've already known that, but I didn't think we would risk like lives of teachers and students for funding. Super weird.
And what do you think of their response?
I think it's like selfish, and I just don't think it's enough because we all know the facts that it's obviously safer to social distance. It's safer not to interact with others. Yet we interact with others on a daily basis because we have to. Obviously, if we don't do it, we won't get paid or we won't get educated. And same for us as students. In order to still do clinical teaching and in order to graduate, we have to do this, even though it's super scary for us. And we won't graduate, so we have to do it. We kind of have to suck it up and go. So I think it's selfish, and I just don't think it's very considerate of people's families because I know so many families live with older people. Some people live with their parents, and their parents might be cancer survivors and stuff like that. And I don't think that's put into consideration by others.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just I don't know. Things need to change. Like I know this hasn't happened before, so not everything has to be the same.
Yeah. And do you have any thoughts on how the pandemic has been handled in the US compared to other countries? I know you talked a little bit about it.
Uh, we are not the best. It's just kind of embarrassing because like you hear so many things said about America and you have to admit that they're true. How there's things said that like, oh, America took it as like a political thing. Why would the whole world be a part of your political parties? Like it's real. It's not fake. People are dying. And America's cases have just rose, and I feel like as the fear went down, that was like pushed by like our old president. Like I think the fear went down and the cases went up. So people were just I know I wish we could be like New Zealand. New Zealand doesn't even have any cases. And that's because everyone took it seriously. Everyone wore their masks. Everyone social distance. They closed down everything like they should instead of worrying about like, oh, but money this, money that, and just they closed it. They made sure everyone was safe. They made sure everyone was getting tested. And I don't, I don't know, nothing. Even whenever everything was closed, so many things were still open, and it was just basically kind of like a holiday. How some celebrate the holiday and some don't. Some stores open during holidays and some don't. It just kind of felt like that. Like whenever it's like Thanksgiving Day and some stores are open and some aren't. It was super weird. And even within the stores, people were wearing their masks like this or on their chin. And it just didn't seem effective. I think it was just more for like a show rather than like 100% done.
And if you could go back in time and talk to yourself before the pandemic, what would you tell yourself?
Oh no. Um, Prepare yourself because you're about to lose everything. Just get ready for your whole life to change and forget your plan because it's different.
And how has the pandemic changed who you are and how you see the world?
Um, I don't know. I used to be. I feel as if I thought I was so more aware of like the world, and then this happened, and I just think back, and I was like, I was so naive about things and people, and not only just the pandemic, but like about like racism and discrimination. I think I've been able to like really see like what people say because I was just kind of living my own bubble. I'd never got on social media. I never knew what people thought. I just thought everything was just like, oh, so happy. And then I guess like now I'm just kind of like I've been more exposed to people and what people say. Like you walk outside and there's like a protest and it's just you see what they're fighting for and it's just like what? Like I think because of COVID, people have been able to like see important things in like the community and the world, and they're like fighting for it more, which I guess that might have been like a positive thing. But I feel as if there would have been more change with the virus, without the virus. I don't know. I just see the world so differently now, and I just think the like it's filled with so many selfish people instead of just like normal people. No, it's just weird how much people don't care.
And do you think the pandemic will have a lasting effect on the world because of everything that happened during that time? Not just the virus, but all the events?
Yes, 100%. Um, I know so many small businesses had to close down because of it because they lost so much money. I know people used a lot of their savings, and it's just gonna take a long time to recover everything, along with like hospital bills for the people that were sick. I just think, and it's also gonna have like a mental effect that how like we see everything as so weird and we don't really socialize. So back whenever we have to socialize again, it's gonna be not the same. It's gonna be different. And I still think that people would wear masks like when they're scared or when they're around big crowds. I feel like masks are still gonna be a thing. Maybe. Not sure.
Well, thank you so much for giving us your time and participating in our oral history research project. Is there any last few words you want to share with us?
Um I don't know. Stay safe. Please wear a mask. Wash your hands and social distance. I hope we get to laugh about those words later, at least in 20 years.
Okay, well, thank you so much for participating and giving us your time.
Thank you.